Hi, hello, and welcome to our Mindfulness-Based Strategic Awareness Training. Is MBSAT in short. So this is an introduction video. There are a few secular mindfulness programs out there, from MBSR to MBCT. So MBSR teaches you to calm your mind, to bring your mind to the present, and to bring you to have a sense of relaxed concentration and acceptance of the present moment. Whereas MBCT teaches you to have self-compassion and to have a sense of softness and love for yourself. So how does MBSAT differ from the rest? What is MBSAT? MBSAT uses mindfulness to make good quality or wise decisions, because besides resting in the present moment and accepting the present and having self-compassion, awareness is powerful for you to recognize things and to make wise decisions. So if you're new to mindfulness, your next questions would be, what is mindfulness? So mindfulness is the awareness or cognizing function of our minds. So mindfulness knows. It knows what? It knows the mind. So your question could be, what do you mean I don't know my mind? Well, yeah, you can say that. When you practice mindfulness techniques, it helps you to see that you don't really know your mind as well as you think you do. Um, Awareness helps you see the choices you make, from the tiniest things to the biggest things in your life. So you could be asking, how do I use mindfulness to make good quality decisions or good quality wise choices? Well, the answer is simple. When you know your mind well, you can easily make good choices for yourself and your loved ones. And those are all wise choices. So you could be thinking, is mindfulness a form of psychology? Yes, you can say that. Mindfulness is a self-help form of psychology. You learn to be your own psychologist with mindfulness because only you know your mind the best. However, MBSAT is not designed for those suffering clinical or anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. Okay. So let's do the first exercise. Okay, I call it a mental experiment because I propose that you may not really know your mind. So let's give this practice a try. Okay, so sit comfortably on the chair with your spine straight or relaxed, and with your feet flat on the floor and your hands on your lap. And I invite you to close your eyes for this practice so that you don't get distracted. Don't worry, it's quite a short practice because I just want you to look at your own mind yourself for a few moments. So bear with me. So sit with your eyes closed and take 3 deep relaxing breaths. So as you breathe in, feel the air entering your abdomen and feel your abdomen rising. And as you breathe out, feel the air leaving your abdomen, which is around your navel area, and feel that the falling sensations of your abdomen. So just note mentally, when you breathe in, when you feel the abdomen rising, just note rising. When you feel the abdomen falling, just note falling. Right? So you don't have to control anything. You don't have to breathe in a specific way to do this. You're just noting and observing your natural in-breath and out-breath using your abdomen as a way for you to observe the breath sensations, and using your mind to note mentally when you breathe in, rising, when you breathe out, falling. And for some of you, you may find that thoughts begin to arise in your mind and they take away your observation of your in and out breath, the rising and the falling. So in this case, I would like you to note, if you're thinking of a thought about the future, what do I do after watching this video? What am I going to eat tomorrow? And the unfinished tasks you have at work, I'd like you to note this as future thoughts. So when they come up, you just have to note future thoughts, future thoughts, future thoughts. And similarly, when thoughts of the past commentary on what happened yesterday, even commentary of a noise that is outside your room and disturbing your practice here, and you make a commentary on it, that too is a past thought. Then when that happens, I'll like you to note past thoughts, past thoughts, past thoughts. Right? And when it's over, just come back to rising and falling. Okay, whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. So this is a short mental experiment. I don't know how much you managed to see your mind, whether you managed to note your thoughts, but most people who did this practice notice that their thoughts are random. You can also ask yourself, were you the one creating those thoughts that came up? Do you have a choice whether you could get absorbed in the narrative of the past or the future thought? Or do you not have a choice, meaning it takes your attention away no matter what? Do you deliberately think of those thoughts? Were you able to suppress those thoughts? So I think the answer to most of these questions will be no. The truth is, we don't create our thoughts. The truth is, we can't suppress our thoughts. But yet, we go out in the world thinking we're rational beings who create our thoughts, create our opinions, and think them in a linear fashion from past, present to future. So you just had a taste of mindfulness here. Mindfulness is an awareness, knowing what's going on in the mind, and it debunks delusional or unhelpful and wrong beliefs we have. The belief that we are rational beings creating our thoughts and that we are master of our thoughts. So that is totally untrue. And this has been supported by two researchers at Harvard University. They did a study and found that their subject matter have random thoughts almost 50% of the time in their waking hours. To be exact, that's 47% of the time. They found that their study subjects also, their minds wandered at least minimally 30% of the time with each task that they do. So from this research, you see that we are really daydreaming almost half the time. We don't really know what's going on with our mind because we're often thinking about what's not going on right now. So that wouldn't be a problem, except that they found that after a period of mind wandering, every one of their study subjects experienced an unpleasant feeling, a sense of unhappiness. So why is that so? If you did the practice I shared earlier long enough, you will see that the mind or the intellectual mind is always looking for something to do. And when it gets lost in a stack of random thoughts and emerge from there later, it feels empty. It feels discontented, like it never really did anything. So sometimes when you sit on the couch just to rest, you find yourself feeling a bit agitated, like, oh, I need to do something, right? There's this sense of agitation in your body, in your mind, because, you were spaced out for that moment and those moments are lost. So the mind feels that it needs to do something to accumulate things so that you have a sense of feeling enough. You can add on to the things that your mind and the body has already accumulated, right? So in the realm of mindfulness, awareness is so strong, it is aware of even slight discontentment and agitation. And that is good news because when it knows, then your mind never really have to experience moderate or severe depression, anxiety, or stress ever again because awareness catches it in the present and changes it. How we change it, we'll introduce in our other videos. Okay, So the practice you did earlier was to observe your breath. And the result of observing the breath was to make awareness apparent to you. And when you were noting your thoughts, you were giving your intellectual mind something to do. Our intellectual mind, as I shared earlier, never really rests. It enjoys doing something, so we give it a job. We get it to note rising, falling, past, and future thoughts. So when the intellect gets tired, what happens? It begins to let go of thoughts. And at this moment, your awareness becomes even more apparent to you. It becomes much stronger. And when your awareness becomes stronger, you experience a sense of serenity and calm in your body and mind. While we do experience these pockets of serenity, calm in the body and mind, such as driving out early in the morning to a beautiful lake to admire a beautiful sunrise. But just as you're admiring it, a family member or a friend could cut into that moment of serenity with, hey, what should we eat for breakfast later? So we can get dragged into other people's future thoughts or past thoughts. But even without their help, there is at least minimally 30% of that time where our minds will go elsewhere, will be absorbed by thoughts, and then we can't really fully be with the beautiful sunrise. So the good news is you can admire the beautiful sunrise and experience this serenity in your body and mind by sitting in your room doing the practice we just did. First, you experience your awareness for 2 minutes. Later, 5 minutes. The more you do it, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. And eventually, you could reach up to 1 hour of experiencing that calm and serenity in your heart and mind. And soon, this becomes a memory and experience for you. And this sense of serenity becomes your emotional baseline. What that exercise did also was to increase the space between our random thoughts. When you increase the space between your random thoughts, what happens? This space is not nothing. Your mind is fully resting in the present moment. It knows what's happening in the present. It's living in reality. It has something to do in reality. And that kind of makes the mind actually quite happy, right? So with this practice, you also reduce wandering mind. And as a result of reducing your random wandering mind, you also increase feelings of happiness and decrease feelings of unhappiness. So imagine your awareness as clear water in the glass, and the ink inside are your muddled thoughts and feelings. Yeah? And when they come in and awareness is not strong, it gets muddled by the thoughts and the feelings. This is how it looks on a daily basis, a mind without training awareness. And with meditation, what we did earlier, we are allowing the thoughts and feelings to settle to the bottom of the glass to make awareness become a real experience in our lives. And through this practice, we strengthen our awareness. But awareness doesn't stay on your cushion, it's with you all the time. So when you go out in the day, meeting different people, your awareness is there with you. And as I shared, mindfulness allows you to investigate into your own mind. You become a detective. That's how you become your own psychologist, right? And you start to see what are the unhelpful beliefs and perceptions you have, such as what I shared earlier. We have this wrong belief that we are rational beings thinking rational, beautiful, linear thoughts. That's not true. And almost 50% of the time, we are daydreaming, just that we don't notice that. So when you notice these things, you begin to use mindfulness to transform your mind, transform your thoughts, reduce unhelpful beliefs, and transform your inner being, and that also comes out in your outer life. And you may experience life differently from the time without my training. So I'm speaking from personal experience here. Okay, so that's the end of our introduction video. If you would like to know more about mindful breath, you can check us out on our website, or you can also check out our social media channels to learn more about mindfulness through our resources and how to practice mindfulness. So thank you for your time. Hope to see you again.